and at worst, like a cruel hoax. And yet, right there, in the first words of Peace Congregational's vision statement, the statement that defines our reason and purpose for being, we read that our vision is to be a community of hope. How audacious, how bold, how crazy, how important, how God-given. I'm going to share a few thoughts with you about what it means to me to be part of a community of hope, and then we'll hear a little bit from some of our original launch team about their thoughts and experience. Today's call to worship says, if faith puts us on the road, hope keeps us there. If faith puts us on the road, hope keeps us there. I believe it was faith that put us on the road to creating this church, but I know that it's hope that has kept us here. When I speak about faith, I'm not talking about a particular set of religious beliefs, because we did not have that in the beginning. We do not have that now in the sense of the traditional understanding of that word, but rather I'm talking about faith being a sense that life has meaning and purpose, and that we are inextricably and undeniably connected with something larger than ourselves, whatever name we may give to that something larger. If the members of our original launch team had not believed that life had meaning and purpose, and that in some ways they as individuals were connected with something larger than themselves, something larger than simply making money or having more of the world's material goods or being successful in the world's eyes, they would never have had the courage or guts or faith to begin this thing called peace. If faith puts us on the road, hope keeps us there. And it does so as it provides the vision of what that meaning and purpose and connection with something greater than ourselves, with what that looks like. Hope paints a picture of this something that's greater than ourselves, this something that provides us with the power to keep on keeping on. In my experience, such hope requires that we work like everything depends on us, and we pray like everything depends on God. At times, hope comes with a burst of insight and imagination and direction that feels like it is completely Spirit-given. But follow where that hope leads will always require a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I don't think that hope is a strategy, but living into its vision in our lives as individuals or our life as a group requires clear-headed, well-informed, disciplined thinking. A disciplined thinking that seriously considers all kinds of options and solutions and paths for actually embodying the vision that's been given to us. Many people think that hope is an end in and of itself. I disagree. I think that hope provides us with a bridge, however makeshift and temporary that structure may be, but a bridge that will take us from the present into the future. This hope always has a forward-leaning, energy-producing, creative nature. and it cannot be sustained over the long haul if it doesn't give birth to something beyond itself. That something which hope births may not look like what was originally envisioned. It certainly won't be the final version, but something must emerge, or even hope can turn in on itself with anger or resentment or destructive energy. All of us have probably been part of groups that began with a hopeful vision. Groups that never went anywhere, however, because the people who were involved couldn't take the risk or wouldn't make the effort to do what was necessary to move that vision forward. Such groups meet and meet and meet and talk and talk and talk and debate and argue and fuss and fume and usually point fingers at each other and pass blame because they get stuck in the process rather than actually taking steps forward toward the goal. I was part of a meeting this past Thursday with a group not connected with church but out in the community that has an incredible hope-filled vision and God-given calling to address a particular problem. It was a wonderful meeting, in part because the participants were both passionately engaged in assessing the realities of the situation and naming some of the roadblocks and resistance that they would face if they moved forward. But it was also a great meeting because of the insistence of that same group that they not leave that meeting without action steps to take them forward. I believe that sustaining hope over the long haul has to be tied to action. Think about it. When someone is suffering from a debilitating illness, hope is sustained not by focusing only on the illness, but by taking small steps toward health, whatever that health may look like. Those devastated by poverty can't sustain their hope for a better future while people just simply sit around and do analysis of the problem. They need something tangible, something like having more food to feed their family, or having a decent roof over their heads, or at least having the chance of progressing toward a job that provides a living wage. Those ravaged by war don't need to hear people simply praying for peace, as important as that may be. They also need to see and be involved in steps that will lead them forward toward the building of peace. Hillary's going to sing a song a little later in the service based on St. Francis' prayer for peace. And that song is so powerful because it says, "Make me an instrument of thy peace." Don't just bring peace. Make me an instrument. So I believe hope is energized and sustained by the assurance that we're actually doing something, that we're actually getting somewhere.